Okay, flight radar. I'm just going to show you there's a British Airways plane about to start taking off from Bridgetown in Barbados. There's the information. Bridgetown, Barbados to London Gatwick. It's going along the runway, about to take off. Ground speed 140 knots. I can't show you both things at the same time. It looks 155 knots ground speed. Altitude 0. I'll tell you when it's in the air. 375 feet. It's taken off. 169 knots. So that's airborne. That particular plane. Okay. So that is registration GVIIY. There's the speed, there's the altitude, and if I move that slider up to the top, I hate this new flight radar. You can't see all the information in one thing. Yeah, now you have to move a blooming slider, which is really annoying. And it doesn't even fit. Look, they can't even manage to fit the information on the screen. How am I supposed to see? I need to be able to drag that slightly across. Do you see it doesn't fit? Is there a way to move the slider sideways? I don't see a way to do that. No, that's bad. That is poor. Anyway, family members on this plane. It's just come out from the terminal there. The white line is it going along the taxiway to get to the end of the runway. So let me now click on this flight. Filming this so I can show a family member, family members, what happened to their flight. Time in England is 10:26 p.m. So that is 5:26 p.m. in Barbados. And here's the flight information. Virgin Atlantic flight VS30, Bridgetown to London Gatwick. Scheduled departure was 5:15, so they're running about nearly 15 minutes late. Scheduled arrival was 6:40. They're now estimating arrival will be 6:17. Flight's due to take 7 hours 43 minutes roughly, and the flight is 6,760 kilometers long. So there you are. You're at the end of the runway now, and you're about to turn to line up for takeoff. Registration of your plane is G-VSXY, so you can actually Google that and see photos of the actual plane if you want to. Type of plane is an Airbus a330, so 2 big engines, 1 on each wing. And here we go, you're lined up, ready for. There's no sound on this. This is just a graphic to show you the location of the plane, etc. So you've lined up. About to take off. I am recording, so don't disturb me. I'm recording. 10:28 p.m. Well, look at this one if you want. So they're lined up at the end of the runway, and they're about to start their takeoff. Just need to move this. So speed is 2 knots. So they're only just barely moving. Altitude is obviously 0 feet. It's not in the air yet. Time in England 10:28 p.m. Okay, they're going along the runway now. Increasing speed 30 knots. 55 knots. .88 knots. 120 knots, and take off at about 160 knots roughly. 135 knots, still on the ground. 155 knots. Should be airborne any second now. 166 knots and you're airborne, 450 feet. Okay, you're in the air. I just need to zoom out of this computer screen so I can show you. And you're going to be over the sea within seconds. Time you've taken off 10:29 in England, so 5:29 Barbados time. You're over the sea. Height is 1,325 feet. Speed 158 knots. So you're up, and hopefully back about 6:20 AM Friday morning British time. Height 1,725 feet, speed 174 knots. So that's about 190 miles an hour or something like that already. And you'll get to nearly 600 miles an hour on the way back, I would think. Eventually, you've got to build up to that, obviously. Just zoom out a bit. So I'll zoom out and show you how far you've got to go. Here's all of Barbados. And you've got one flight ahead of you. That's probably the British Airways flight. Yeah, that is. While you're flying, you've got a British Airways flight that took off just a couple of minutes in front of you. So you're going to be following behind another plane, which is good because that means the pilots can talk to each other if there's, if they need to. If they need to communicate or relay some information. Let me zoom out a bit more on these buttons. This is a website called flightradar24.com. I'll just show you. Brilliant. Flightradar24.com. And you can search, you can type in the flight number, so in your case VS30, at any time during the flight, and you can look it up. And I'll also use playback, that button there. You can click on that playback feature and you can look back. It's like someone's recorded this screen and you can see flights in the past. So I'll do that to film the entire flight for you. And it doesn't play it back at like 1 time speed like this. You can play it back at much faster, so you can watch the entire flight in, say, 15-20 minutes. So that's what I'll do later on. Okay, so that's the British Airways plane. It's clicked at the moment. Let's get back to the Virgin plane, which has got relatives on board. 266 knots. You're now at 4,500 feet, which is still low. That's low. And the time is 10:32 PM. Right, I need to stop recording now. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.